Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Racha, Chadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, chiefly a great millstone, and those other like-minded elders that rule and teach well. Shalom, Barakyam, peace and blessings to you brothers out there laboring on the highways and byways in all due diligence and, giving your body as a living sacrifice as our reasonable service. Shalom to the hopeful elect. And I just want to get a quick testimonial of a vision, a dream that I had, I believe it was yesterday. Very heavy, very, very heavy dream. And then I'll back it up with some precepts. So my dream that I had was that we was in a time of Jacob's trouble. And I believe I was at one of my cousin's house, who's not in the truth, but I was at my cousin's house. And I'll try and make this quick, actually. I was looking, I was on a balcony of my cousin's house, and, I looked up and I see chariots. I see different type of size chariots, chariots in the sky, and I was kind of on a bit of a hype. And I was kind of like, yo, brothers, like, look at this up in the sky, there's chariots. So you know how 2/3 are, they're like, get out of here, there's no chariots, I'm not, they thinking, they're not taking me seriously. Let's put it like that. They're not taking me seriously. And I'm like, look, brothers, there's chariots. And then all of a sudden, what happened is the army, military forces, well, first of all, I saw one of the chariots come down and then kind of went back up, just confirming that it was a IFO, what the world would call a UFO, an unidentified flying object. But then what happened after that was army military forces came from both sides of the street, one way of the road, the other way of the road, kind of closing in the area that I was in. A heavy amount of army was there, and I was trying to warn brothers and sisters, but it was like they was in their own world, man. And I was trying to, shouting like, brothers, sisters, the army's outside. They're about to perform an operation, man. Operation Kill Israelites, man. Operation Spare No One. So they jumped out of their vehicles and they started surrounding the building that I was in. This army, and kind of closed off the street. So no one could come out, no one could come in, sort of situation. So I ran back into the house because I was on the balcony at the time. I see them jumping off of their vehicles, kind of ready to surround the building. So I ran through the house to the back of the house where there was a window. And through that window, I was thinking I can escape through the window. And I can't remember who it was. I think it was my brother Daniela helped me open the window to get out. But then as we looked out the window, we was trying to make a great escape, if you like. So looked out the window, there was already army men plotted, with guns aiming at the building, ready to kill anyone who escaped. But somehow I managed to escape through the front. Okay, I got out of the front of the building before they could fully get close to it, kind of snuck round. And what I did is I hitched up behind a wall, thinking, they might not be able to see me. It was like a low wall. So I hitched up there, understanding that they are, they kind of got all areas covered. And what happened was about 3 or 4 of them came round and they walked round and they spotted me. And when they spotted me, I snapped out of the dream, So what I saw was chariots at first, and then I saw the army come in, and then they spotted me. But when they spotted me, it's kind of like left me in suspense whether, they actually managed to take me out, or whether a standard was lifted, because it kind of left me in suspense, because I kind of snapped out of the dream at that point. It's like they saw me, and then I broke out of the dream. So that could have either went two ways. That could have been a standard lifted up in me, how Yahweh Ratazar, where I was able to escape that flood, which I'm about to grab, which the enemy come in like. I believe it's in the book of Isaiah 59 and 19. Let me grab that real quick. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19, because this is what it left me in suspense of, whether this standard was lifted or they actually managed to get me. And this is why we need to keep pushing towards Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, not knowing our latter end, having hope of salvation, okay? So it says, Isaiah 59 and 19, it says, so they shall fear the name of the other one from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. And this is what I saw in my vision, the enemy coming like a flood, out of nowhere. Everyone was in that spirit of mirth and folly, but I was observing what was going on outside. I saw chariots, I saw the army try and block off the road. So I was observing what was going on. It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the other one shall lift up a standard against him. Okay? And this is what I hope for, in reality, is that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai lifts up a standard in the true men of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the true servants, the remnant, the elect. A standard is lifted from where we are able to escape the troubles that are at hand, because this will come to pass. These enemy will come in like a flood. I'll read on. It says, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgressions in Jacob, saith the other one. So yeah, a Redeemer will come, and this is what we're hoping, to be saved out of it, to be beamed up by these chariots, to be caught up in the sky, to meet the other one in the air, via chariots, man. So yeah, I am hopeful that the end of that vision, manifest into reality, goes smooth for me, and it gives the brothers the strength to be able to fight what is to come, man, because we're going to need divine intervention and strength from the Heavenly Father in order to escape what is to come. I'm going to get the book of Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 25. It says, this day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations. Yeah, when he's lifted up his standard in his men, a way to escape, take flight, being caught up in the chariots. It says, this day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee. And this is what we need. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to give us that spiritual power necessary to defeat these enemies. Okay, giving us wisdom, which is immortality, to be able to fight these enemies. Let them know that we are the Heavenly Father's, man, apple of his eye. Okay, I'm going to go to the book of I'm going to stay in the book of Deuteronomy, and then I'm going to go to chapter 28, Deuteronomy 28 and verse, I believe it's and verse 7. It says, and the other one shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. So when that army does come in, we got spiritual powers where they're not able to touch us. The Lord has done his marvelous works for the men of the Lord, and that remnant, that we're able to escape what's coming. Okay, it says the other one shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. So when they do come in like a flood, like I see in that vision I had in my dream, they actually fear the Heavenly Father. You got a spirit on you where they just flee, man. They don't want none of this, man. They be smiting everyone else, but when it comes to you, because you serve the Heavenly Father, man, there's something about you or a spirit that jumps on you, where they fear and tremble, man. The Spirit of the Lord, man, the Spirit of the Heavenly Father, and that's the strength that we need. It's gonna be our strength of salvation, man. The fear of the Lord. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so there is none that is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Who is he? I've jumped to verse 10. It says, "Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob." Yeah, the ones that are serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. "Saith the other one, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save them from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity, and Jacob shall return, and I shall be in rest, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid." And at that time, I wasn't really afraid in the dream. I was kind of just trying to get out, you know. It was wise for me to try and keep it moving. They spotted me in the vision, but I kind of snapped out of the dream. So yeah, left me in suspense. And Yahweh Tazar, I get a standard lifting up where the enemies flee from me through the spirit of the other one, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. Yeah, so that was a quick testimony on the visions I had. So yeah, man, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, like a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. So yeah, on that note, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Shalom.